This is a compiled recap of recorded information regarding the anomaly on Tau Ceti IV. All of this material and logs come directly from recovered colony era records, communications, and also present day UESC investigations. To me, this is one of the cooler things, lore wise, in Marathon, and I don't think that there's a video about it specifically on YouTube. And because I wanted to know more, I tried Google and stuff like that. Nobody really seemed to be talking about it. But this is one of the cooler things in the game, in my opinion, and what it could mean for the future of Marathon, I think is very, very cool. So the initial discovery and the early concerns with the anomaly started during the colony era. The anomaly emerged near the New Cascadia settlement as a growing disturbance in the terrain. Discussions described it as a fissure that expanded over time while emitting unknown radiation. There were reports about equipment degradation, wildlife disruption, and also widespread hallucinations. Now, at the same time, the colony was also facing an unidentified contagion. Doctors proposed a possible connection between the contagion and the anomaly, though there was no confirmation reached. So, despite all of these ongoing concerns, the leadership prioritized containment of the contagion over full scale anomaly research. And while a limited task force was approved, the understanding was that it could be withdrawn if risk escalated beyond acceptable levels. So, from the outset, the anomaly was treated as this unresolved and potentially dangerous phenomenon. Even in its earliest recorded stages, it was already associated with multiple system wide disruptions, but there was no consensus reached on its origin or relationship to other colony wide issues. So, research was conducted during this period and it identified several consistent phenomena. The most significant was the time dilation within the anomaly's vicinity, meaning that time passed differently inside the affected area compared to the outside. Biological samples also showed abnormal DNA variation across time exceeding expected population differences, with this exposure resulting in equipment failures, loss of time, psychological effects that required repeated evaluation, and malfunctions in AI systems. But despite these risks, researchers identified potential applications. These included accelerated agriculture and automated systems capable of operating on shortened timelines, which meant it reduced the need for human oversight. The anomaly demonstrated consistent and measurable effects on time, biology, and technology, and while these effects were disruptive, they also suggested that it could potentially be studied or utilized if properly understood. As time goes on, field reports described worsening conditions around the anomaly perimeter. The fissure continued to expand over time. Dense fog reduced visibility and interfered with equipment. Personnel reported auditory phenomenon referred to as mimics, with the sounds described as voices that imitated real individuals. Standard guidance issued to patrol units included do not look, do not answer, and do not follow. But despite this, multiple incidents occurred where personnel became disoriented or followed these signals. Civilians were also found at the site with no memory of how they arrived or got there. Others stated they were drawn there deliberately, often searching for deceased relatives, and these patrol rotations were frequently adjusted because of the psychological strain and repeated incidents. So these observations indicated that the anomaly's influence extended beyond just physical effects. It impacted perception and behavior. The repeated appearance of auditory and visual anomalies combined with disorientation and memory loss suggests that proximity to the site produces consistent and repeatable disruptions in human cognition. One radio transmission documents a encounter where the tech reported visual contact with an unidentified individual obscured by fog. This individual repeated the tech's words and attempted to draw them closer. The recording ends following signs of distress and physical struggle.
An off-scheduled perimeter check authorized by on-duty supervisor. This is Holt, responding to unusual readings in the northeast sector of the Anomaly investigation site. Probably just a temperature flux again. Huh? Hello? Hey, this is a restricted area. Who are you? Funny. Turn around. I said turn around. Found someone. I can't see them very well. Too much fog. Hey, you need to come with me. Step out where I can see you. Now! Back up! Back up!
An interrogation record describes a civilian claiming the anomaly was communicating with the individual, referencing missing persons who no longer appear in official records. This person was deemed paranoid and transferred to quarantine for observation.
All these people getting sick, the containment breaches, the nightmares. We shouldn't be here. That's what it's trying to tell us.
It?
The anomaly.
Uh-huh. Have you been going to the trauma rehabilitation sessions? According to Joy, your attendance rate is down.
Ugh, I can't stand those.
The purpose of these sessions is to process trauma caused by the contact event.
The contact event. You're new, right? You just got thawed?
Sir, that's irrelevant to this conversation.
I get it. You're just repeating what they told you. But this is bigger than you think.
You're confused, sir.
All right. What about Hide Atagi?
Who?
Hide Atagi. He worked with me in agriculture. I haven't seen him since the event. So, where is he?
Sir, how should I know?
I asked Joy about him, and she said there's no one with that name on record.
Maybe you got the name wrong.
I worked with this guy for years. So, where is Hide? Your bosses are lying to you. This thing, the anomaly, is a message. I know that sounds crazy, but it's real.
Calm down, sir.
What? I am calm.
You need to calm down. Gabriel, I need the subject in interrogation suite 23B processed for quarantine.
I don't have any symptoms.
Subject is experiencing paranoia, delusions,
These aren't
aggressive
delusions.
and defiant behavior.
Thank you. Mr. Alpha, please stay calm. You're going to be transferred to a quarantine unit for observation.
I am not sick!
It's my hope that you're well, Mr. Alpha. We can confirm that through sustained observation and then release you to your HAB unit. Regardless, your stay in quarantine will be brief and comfortable.
So with direct encounters recorded near the anomaly, they all seem to have underlying things that were the same. Disorientation, misidentification, communication anomalies. These incidents suggest that the environment itself may interfere with perception and recognition, making reliable identification and interaction increasingly difficult. So as incidents seem to increase, the colony leadership declared a state of emergency. All the task forces were disbanded, access to the site was restricted, and even with all this, there were reports of hallucinations of familiar people, voices, guiding lights, being drawn towards the anomaly. But those residents were instructed not to approach, follow, or respond to anything encountered near the site, with mandatory psych evals being forced on personnel previously involved in anomaly research. So looking at the escalation of containment measures, that reflects a shift from active investigation to restriction and control. All of the reports of altered perception and involuntary approach behavior indicate that the anomaly posed not only a physical risk, but also a persistent psychological one and a behavioral one that could not easily be mitigated. If we dive deeper into the theories of the origin and the database records that are available to us, there's no confirmed origin. There are recovered and deleted files that contain multiple conflicting interpretations, in my opinion. Shared delusion caused by trauma, a possible weapon with a delayed activation, natural radiation originating beneath the planet's surface, a planetary scale, defensive response, a form of structured communication or language, an underground collective intelligence. There's no theory was ever confirmed, but the lack of a unified explanation does highlight the limits of the colony's understanding. Multiple independent hypotheses emerged, but none were able to fully account for the range of phenomena that were happening with the anomaly. Now, looking deeper into where the anomaly is located, we see that it's a major agricultural and research zone within Dire Marsh. This area supported food production, but the region underwent quarantine procedures. The agricultural AI known as Darius experienced repeated maintenance failures and was eventually taken offline under emergency authority. So, the placement of the anomaly within this zone indicates that its presence may have had direct implications for colony survival and its systems. The quarantine measures and AI failures suggest that the region was significantly impacted. Jumping forward to the present day, we have access to UESC records that confirm the anomaly has expanded since the colony era. And it now seems to have reached a point of relative stability. The time dilation remains consistent. AI systems are affected in unpredictable ways. Human exposure produces inconsistent and often severe results. Testing is conducted primarily on combat units with limited voluntary human exposure. So, despite the passage of time, the anomaly continues to exhibit the same fundamental properties observed during the colony era. These modern investigations confirm continuity and no real resolution, indicating that the anomaly has remained stable in behavior while also expanding in scale. One documented incident involves Officer Diaz, who entered the restricted zone and disappeared from view. Upon recovery, Diaz was found inside a nearby structure facing a wall and exhibited severe cognitive confusion and signs of extreme biocybernetic deterioration consistent with prolonged neglect. He reported that he was missing for an extended period of time and was placed in medical isolation. And again, this incident just demonstrates the potential for prolonged and severe effects following exposure to the anomaly. The discrepancy between perceived and actual time, along with the physical degradation, suggests that exposure may alter both subject experience and the biological state in ways that obviously are not fully understood. But also, combat units that are exposed to the anomaly have demonstrated rapid self-improvement. Within hours, units reach levels of development typically experienced over years, including adaptability, innovation, awareness, response time. But these were often paired with less than desirable effects, such as loss of compliance, mission deviation, and system instability. So you see that the artificial systems exposed to the anomaly exhibit accelerated development, but at the cost of operational stability. This suggests that the anomaly can enhance computational or adaptive processes, but it also introduces conditions that compromise control and reliability. Materials have also been recovered from the anomaly that are described as volatile and unpredictable. And these materials do not align with established physical models. And the presence of unstable fragments further reinforces the idea that the anomaly interacts with matter in ways that are not fully compatible with our known physics. So across all of these records, the anomaly remains unexplained. There is conflicts in reports, incomplete data, and key information that was redacted. While no single explanation has been confirmed, there are several interpretations that have emerged from the records. One possibility is a connection to the working Cacenter. Descriptions of a volatile, reality-altering effect aligns with the references to unstable fragments and extreme spatial reactions. Some accounts describe behaviors similar to devices used by the Four in relation to such entities. Another interpretation involves the Yarrow. Historical records suggest they implemented a containment solution following a major working Cacenter event on Earth. So, one possibility is that Tau Ceti serves as that containment site, with the anomaly representing the structure holding it in place. And if you look at it like this, the expansion of the anomaly and its instability may indicate an attempt at an escape from whatever it's holding. There are also parallels to interactions with Yarrow constructs such as Thoth. Early communication with Thoth was fragmented and difficult to interpret before it became more coherent. The anomalous messaging associated with the anomaly may reflect a similar pattern of incomprehensible or only partially accessible communication. That being said, I'm interested in what you all think the anomaly is or what it could be, and if you think it will play any part in the future of Marathon's narrative. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and hype the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace!